Hey all, Rusty RVerTV, welcome. You are looking at 8 415 watt panels. Sungold Power sent me a solar system. I'm going to hook it up here temporarily right now. I have to get permits and all that to permanently mount this stuff, but we can ground mount it. And we're going to test out this all-in-one system. They got a huge Black Friday sale going. SunPower does. I've tried a few of their other products before, and they are one good outfit, really decent prices, good support. I got these panels here wired in series. We'll get into all that. I'm going to show you how I'm going to wire it up. But this thing will be a beast. Could power up my RV, my motorhome, my little office I have built for studio. That's where I'm mounting it right now. Once it's permanently mounted, I'll have a RV plug plus power the little office as well. It's almost the end of November, sun's down low, so you can only get so much power out of the panels, but we're going to see how they perform. Here's a label on the panels, 415 watt. Open circuit voltage, that's an important one, 37.5 when you hook them in series. So we'll get into all that too. Alright. There you can see how low the sun is this time of year. Days are getting shorter. We're almost near the end. A few more weeks. Shortest day, end of December. So this is my little office setup where I record, edit a lot of the videos you guys see. This is going to be one major asset for the RVerTV productions. Alright, well, let's go in. We'll jump on the internet, show you their Black Friday sales going. And we'll get this thing wired up temporarily right now. Alright? First, here's Sungoldpower.com. Here's their Black Friday deals they got going. You'll never beat these prices, ever. I mean, if you're looking for off-grid, these guys even have RV batteries and all that. But they are running a super sale right now. We're the all-in-one system, solar kit system. That's what. But look at this. They got a 200 amp hour, 12 volt battery now. Solar panels. You've seen those outside. 3,000 watt, 12 volt inverters. Server rack batteries. You're going to see those too. They sent that along with this kit. A lot of different videos online. I'll show you some of those. They have their own YouTube channel. I'll show you that too. They got blogs. Cool website. Very well done. And if you send them a question, they respond within 24 hours. So they're pretty much on the spot. Here's the kit here. This is the off-grid solar kit. 8,000 watt, 48 volt. 120, 240 split phase. Came with two of the rack mount batteries. Plus 8 415 watt solar panel. Look at the price. That's the price of a large portable solar battery. I mean, once again, you want your own gas station. If you got an electric car, here's your gas station for it. Plus, this thing will generate 240 volt. So off-grid is really what I wanted, and that's the way we're going to set this thing up. Here it is, off-grid solar kit, 8,000 watt, all in one, with the batteries and 8 panels. And free shipping. Alright, well, let's go on in. I'll show you what I'm wiring up right now. Okay, all this is temporary. Don't judge. That's the panels coming in outside. It's pretty cut and dry. You basically hook the batteries to the all-in-one panel, the inverter charger. These two guys right here. This comes with it. Those are 48 volt rack mount batteries. They talk to each other. I mean, it's all kinds of cool stuff. Got a digital screen there on the inverter charger. Now that is a split phase, so it's 120 volt or 240. Right now I can only set everything up for 120 volt. I don't have 240 here in this little building. But we're going to set this up for off-grid. It's even got a little Wi-Fi remote here. There's an app, and I'll show you that you can actually monitor the system anywhere as long as you got Wi-Fi. Kind of cool. Everything plugs in underneath. Real clean, simple. It's not bad at all to hook one of these up. We're going to be running a mini split air fryer computer system off this. We're going to do a little test on it. There's the menu on the batteries. And you can add multiple batteries. I mean, the system comes with 2. If over time you want to expand it, you can add as many batteries as you want. You can also add as many inverter chargers all in one. I think you can parallel up to 6 of them. So you can really seriously power quite a bit. Those are the communication cables. Keeps the batteries communicating with each other. Little flashing lights, they're charging right now off the solar. Nothing's plugged into shore power, everything's off solar right now. So, alright, let me finish buttoning this up, make it look better. I shouldn't even have showed you this part. And then we'll go from there. We're going to test drive this thing. Okay, here's the wiring diagram that they send you. It's fairly generic. You can actually hook a generator to the all-in-one panel or shore power, run off-grid, it'll run your appliances and whatnot. But the panels are hooked in series. That means a continuous wiring. You go from positive to negative on each panel. And in series, what it does is generates a higher voltage going back into the all-in-one charger inverter. Produces more power basically. It's more efficient on the panels and produces a higher voltage and power. So once again, all the 8 of these panels are wired in series, and we're feeding a higher voltage inside the building. Okay, this is actually just a tough shed that I converted into an office. I have a mini split hooked to it. That's a 9,000 BTU mini split. It's set up on 120 volt, but we're gonna start using this thing off grid. There's the specs on it. It's made by Sunville, but we're gonna be powering off grid from here on out. Yay. Okay, welcome back. A little cleaner, right? Yeah. Housekeeper day off. Forgive the mess. Alright, got her set up a little bit better here. Buttoned up. I wired it up to have 120 volt circuit running off the all-in-one. You see the flashing? That means it's charging right now off the solar. We're bringing in the power straight out of the panels outside. Set it up on a little 20 amp breaker here. And there's the breaker for the solar panels. Once again, this is temporary after I get the permits. This is actually going to go in like a little closet, be hardwired. It'll also have a grid feed, grid tie, so it can actually produce power back to the utility company. So there's all kinds of cool stuff you can do with off-grid solar. And the Wi-Fi, the little remote for the Wi-Fi. The app is called Solar Man. I'll show it. Once we test this, once we put a load on the system, I'll fire up the app and we can be able to see it. There's also a circuit breaker for the AC input. Right now all I did was wire up a 120 volt cord with a plug. I'm not even going to use it. I don't even want to plug it in. We're going to do all off grid. It works. Plug it in an outlet, it'll feed power, charge the batteries, but that's not what we want to do. We want off grid. And I'd figure we'll run the mini split and also this air fryer at the same time. Let that thing cook maybe a frozen dinner or something. That thing will draw about 1200 to 1400 watts. It's a pretty good load, like running a hair dryer. And I'll use this little power strip here to connect everything. I'll just plug it straight into the circuit, feeding off the all-in-one. And now I got breakers protecting everything, so we should be good shape. Alright, I'm going to let this charge up a little bit more. You can see 54.5 volts, so we're charging the batteries. And we have about 245 volts coming in off the panels, which is excellent. So we are producing power right now. Here's Sungoldpower official YouTube channel. You can see they got quite a few videos on a lot of their products. Just different guides, setups. Here's this one, how to wire the system. I'll show you this video. But how to wire up the system, parallel the batteries. They got a lot of other external batteries. So anyway, make sure you check out their YouTube channel. Once again, it's Sungoldpower Official is the name of it. Alright, let's check out this video here. This is the one I watched. This is the exact system that they sent me. Shows you how to wire the batteries in parallel. Pretty cut and dry. They send you the cables. The cables come with it. I did have to provide my own cables to hook it up to the inverter because of the distance between I had from the batteries up to the all-in-one inverter. And positive and negative, make sure you do that correctly. There it is. That's it. I mean, there is your setup. Now the communications, you do exactly what they're showing here. I had to watch this about 2-3 times. Make sure I connected everything correctly. But it comes with the cables. It comes with the cables pretty cut and dry. You just turn the battery on, they start up. The BMS, battery management system, will kick in. Each battery has its own little circuit breaker, and those are called dip switches. You set one battery to 1, the other one to 2. Then you check your voltage, and you should have 52 volts. Now coming up is another part that I had to watch multiple times. There's settings. You got to set the inverter, tell it what kind of battery. It's pretty cut and dry once you get into it. You're going to tell it they're lithium batteries. So you do exactly what they're showing here, the lithium 6. Then there's a few other settings for this system to operate. So I highly encourage you to watch this video a few times. This was probably the best video I could find on this exact system. I'm sure more will come out. Here's the user manual for the inverter charger. It shows you all the wiring diagrams, the settings that we were just talking about, how to wire your solar panels in series, the inputs, outputs. Very detailed manual, several pages. Look at that, it's even showing you how you can put multiple inverters in parallel. Plus, they got good support. You can chat with them through their website, send a support request in. They do respond. They want you to have power. There's a list of all the different settings. A lot of that pertains to if you have multiple units in parallel. Don't worry about that. Just sit back and enjoy the power. Free energy from the sun. Off grid. Okay, looks like we're averaging about 245, 46 volts. It is the end of November and the sun is low. So you're limited on the amount of power. We are charging 54.5 volts. Definitely charging. You can see that little check mark says normal. Everything's normal. Then that 120 on the right hand side, that's the power coming out of the inverter. Up top where it says on the right hand side where it has 0, that means no shore power. I don't have it plugged in to any utility power generator or on grid. I don't want that. We want off grid. Then there's different settings. You can check the amps, different voltage, amount of kilowatts, the wattage at the panels. Looks like the panels are producing about 1,700 watts. There's 3,200 watt total, but once again, we are into November. The sun is low, which means you're not going to get quite as much. And those flashing lights is because it's charging. Everything is working properly. They do send paper printed manuals. Here's one on the battery. Shows you all the specs and whatnot, but basically this off-grid system from Sungoldpower is pretty much a plug-in and use. There's the communication was probably the most advanced, where you set up the inverter a little bit with the settings, but it still wasn't that bad. So you just wire it up, hook it up, and start using the power from the sun. You can see our batteries are charging up even more. The cables are labeled, and they just plug into the bottom. Okay, well, I'd say the batteries are about 70% charge. That's good enough. These screens on the battery, you can check what status the BMS is in. And it says charge. Yay. Get that free energy from the sun. They also send brackets, mounting brackets for the solar panels. But I'm going to build an off-grid solar array outside. Probably won't be able to do that until after winter. But use those brackets, they include them with the hardware. Then they also send cables for each battery, manual for each one, and also manual for the inverter, all-in-one inverter. And the cables you need to connect more batteries for a rack mount. And I believe this cable is if you had more than one inverter. When you hook the all-in-one inverter chargers in parallel. Oh yeah, even a little wrench for the battery lugs. Isn't that cool? Okay, well I think I pretty much have everything hooked up correctly. It's charging, producing power. Just kind of double checking here before we put a load on it. And once again, I'm only operating this at 120 volt. It can be wired for 240 volt. If you have an electric vehicle, there is your portable gas station from the sun. Charge your car up every day for free. Okay, I'm doing all this one-handed trying to film. Alright, this little 9,000 BTU mini split produces not only air conditioning, it's also got a heater. It's a heat pump too. And this tough shed office here is a 12 by 16. Plenty for this small space. Okay, we are operating straight off those panels outside and these batteries. And battery's still charging. We're pulling 245 volts off the panels. Let's hook up some more. Okay, how about the computer monitor? We're gonna plug that in. Hey, RVerTV's on. So, computer, monitor, mini split, which mini splits are very efficient. Once they get going, their amperage and wattage drops on their use. They'll pull more on the heat cycle than they will on air conditioning. Hey, might as well plug in this little light here. Let's keep it going. Hey, now we got a light, computer, mini split, all off grid. All the power's being generated off grid. Free energy from the sun. But wait, there's more. We're going to fire up that air fryer. Producing heat. It's kind of chilly right now in Arizona. That's always the biggest question with batteries, you know, solar and batteries and all that. Can you heat and cool? Like for an off-grid cabin, anything off-grid. Mini splits are the way to go. And with this Sungoldpower off-grid system, heck yeah. Especially when you can have 240 volt as well. Okay, well, it's Thanksgiving time. Let's cook a roast turkey dinner. My favorite, of course, Stouffer's. But I'm going to leave everything plugged in. So we got the computer, the light, mini split. Now let's run this air fryer. Alright, we're going to preheat it for 4 minutes at 400. Let's see how our system's holding up. Okay, batteries are still charging, so we're basically pulling all the power off the sun. That air fryer makes more noise than the inverter. Inverter's extremely quiet. Inverter charger, the all-in-one. Okay, dinner's in the oven. 15 minutes on 350. This will be a good time to test out that app. We're going to see what kind of power draw we're doing on this system. Okay, I just switch it to amps. Okay, on the bottom right, when you see it go 13.1 amps, that's the total draw between the mini split, the air fryer, and the computer. So we're drawing about 13 amps on a 20 amp circuit. Look, you can see where the air fryer is cycling, when it kicks on and off. Once it heats up, it just kicks on. Air fryers are a pretty heavy draw though, they pull a lot. Looks like our panels are still producing about 1600 watts outside. We got 53.8 volts going into the battery, so they're still charging. Let's check the app, the SolarMan app connected to the Sungold power system. Okay, this is called the SolarMan app. You can see we're pulling off the panels. Wow, 1500 watts. Almost 1600 straight off the panels. We're consuming 1600 watts, so it means only 144 watts are coming off the batteries. And this is when the days are short and the sun's low. So that's good. In the summertime, when you got long days, you'd have power all day long. That's where you produce most of your power during the day, when you run your air conditioners straight off the panels. You don't even touch the batteries, and at night you have your batteries to feed off of. Perfect, huh? Anyway, cool app. This is connected right to this all-in-one system from Sungold Power. Well, 7 minutes have passed. Let's check this fine meal. Still a little frozen. We got to cook it a little longer. Okay. Cooling fans are working. Actually, barely any heat's coming off the inverter charger. You can pull a heck of a lot more load. It's a split phase, so it's 4,000 watts on each side, each phase. 120, 240 volt circuit. So yes, this thing will absolutely, no heat on the wires. Yeah, everything good. This thing will absolutely run an off-grid cabin. Nothing's warm. Perfect. We got off-grid power. Is that the dinner bell? There you go. It cooked it. Took the whole 15 minutes too. But didn't spin the electric meter, didn't cost anything. Cook your meals, heat and cool your cabin, RV, whatever, with this Sungold all-in-one off-grid system. And once again, check the Black Friday sale. There'll be links down in the description. Click them. Sungold Power. What a good deal on an off-grid system. Okay, well my office here is going to be total off-grid here within the next couple months. Not bad. Thanks to Sungold. Want to thank them for sending the system. Let me do the video on this. Okay, talk soon.